together as far as, say, a running back or a linebacker or
Yeah.
whatever position?
Yeah, I think maybe Isaac a little bit different, but also in some positions it's exactly like that. Sometimes we'll identify at a certain position we need a kid that's older, more mature, playing time junior. We need a junior college kid here right now, and so then we evaluate the JC kids all against each other, and then like the running back spot was going to be best available. That's how we termed that one this year. So we were going to evaluate all the freshmen, incoming freshmen, high school seniors with any kind of junior college player. And so we were going to put their tape up and do our best to evaluate it exactly against each other. Go back and reference what I said before, like our corner spot. We had the whole plan all together. The whole time was to take 2 high schools and 1 JUCO corner. So we had our junior college pile or board or group, and then our high school kids. So we evaluated kind of like that separately a little bit. So
That's probably the most common question that fans have is they say, well, why don't you just take a high school guy? He's got 4 years, and why would you take a JC guy that only has 2 years?
it's when you evaluate your position and you think that that's a spot that either you need an immediate upgrade or immediate production at. Can the high school kid give that to you, or can the JC kid give it to you better? First thing. And then who's in that room right now, and do we lose so many guys? Just like the O-line, we knew we need to change the O-line. We needed to make it immediate. It had to be a mix, 2 and 2. So we took 2 high schools and we took 2 junior college players. D-line, 1 and 1. So we had some immediate needs right there. When it goes down to the running back, it was who's the best available, who can we get our hands on right now, because I would like someone to compete and play right now. So that's kind of where you look. Quarterback, you got a returning senior who's been very productive. I've got a kid coming off a redshirt year, Jordan Love, who I know is going to be very good. We're not going to take a junior college quarterback. We're not going to take a graduate transfer. I got 2 calls from 2 prominent graduate transfers out there. Very, very good players. Very good players. Made the decision, are we going to develop Jordan Love, or are we going to take a graduate transfer? Well, we already have Henry coming and committed, and so that was the decision is to stay with youth, because I believe in that youth right now in the quarterback room.
So, I was just going to say, follow up on that.
Uh-huh.
Are you always looking for a guy to come in? I mean, even obviously high school or JC guy, we've seen it in the past. Are you recruiting guys to always looking for the better player, looking for a guy to come in and start right away, or is it you just get the best guys you can?
I think you always try to get the best guys you can, because you're always trying to upgrade. To me, recruiting is trying to make it better in that room or that position. But there's always positions that you look at and go, okay, we have a lot of production coming back, and we feel really good about where we're at in the Mountain West at that position right now. So maybe we take a freshman in. If he's really good, then he's going to compete right now, or he's going to redshirt, and you're okay with that. Or you look at a room that's maybe depleted by graduation, and you look at the youth, and the youth is not ready yet, or it's maybe a year away for developing, then that's where your mindset starts going, well, maybe we need a JC kid to plug in right here.
Matt, I mean, over the last week and a half, you've gotten arguably some of your better commits, guys like Fortenberry, Terrell, Edwards, Hola, Dolphin. I mean, how good you feel about how the last couple of weeks?
I thought we finished really strong. Yeah. Some of those commits, to be real honest with you, I mean, when you say they're late, it just is kind of how their calendar worked out, or they couldn't come in on their visit until later. So sometimes that may have been delayed. They couldn't come in December, or they couldn't come, January 14th, our first weekend out. But I thought we finished really strong. I thought our staff really, we tried to put blinders on the last 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and just go hard right after our guys. And really, even once you got some kids committed in mid-January, it's just about as, I always use the term post up. We had to post up at Lehigh High School and stay there all day, make sure nobody comes in, So sometimes it's defending opponents from poaching a little bit. But I thought we finished really strong, and we got some, got good news this morning with Mata, and got no bad news in the last, 5 days or whatever. And I mean, to me, that's finishing strong.
What is it Suli Tamaivena?
Yep,
What is his?
pretty
He
good.
hasn't played in a while, right? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, he just had he had to finish some academic classes and finish up. He did not play at Mount Sac this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Was that league's defensive player of the year 2 years ago. But Sully will come in right away, and will be a different linebacking group as soon as he gets in here.
So I count with the guys who are going on missions, that's 16 new players to affect your program on this list. Would I assume, or can we assume, that there's still more spots you could take more? And is that where the return missionaries come in? Do you have to count their numbers now, or do you count them? How does that work?
Each
out?
kid's a little different, and the timing of when they get back on their mission, Al, is a little bit different. So we'll have some missionaries coming back this summer. We possibly could have a couple late additions, this spring, and then so you're gonna have another half a dozen to 8 new players probably by training camp.
Between
now and
between
training
the
camp.
LDS guys and other guys you might still sign.
Correct.
You think?
Yep.
Coach, you didn't make it to a bowl game this year. Did that help in recruiting in that you had more time to devote to it, or did it hurt in recruiting in that you weren't involved in a higher profile opportunity like that?
It definitely didn't hurt us in recruiting one bit, because of the homes we got in and the kids that we stayed on. I don't think it ever helps you one bit if you're not in a bowl game. I'm not going to take that trade-off ever. That was the most miserable December I've ever had in my life. And besides Christmas Day and seeing the look on my kid's face and all that, it was miserable. And there's no way around it. And it was the worst week before Christmas, and it was the worst week after Christmas, watching everybody else play except us. And I just hope our players hated it as much as I did. It was not fun. It'll never help, but it absolutely didn't hurt us in recruiting because of some of the guys that we've been on. It gave us probably a few more days in December and another recruiting weekend, but I'll take the trade-off the other way next year.
Well, and you had more staff to recruit this year than you did last year, too.
Well,
the way it worked out.
There's no question about that. If you go
That
back,
had to help.
there's no question. You go back and look, and to me, before this class, our best class was the 2014 class. It was the deepest. It's been the most productive. And if you go back and look, that was our first year together as a staff to fully recruit the mission program, JUCO kids and high school kids, kind of our mix. And I lost one coach on that staff, and that was Kevin Clune, and that was at some point in early January when he left to go to Hawaii to be the D coordinator. And then I lost Frank, but that was about a month after signing day when I lost Frank to Vanderbilt. But we had continuity on the staff, and I always say that continuity on a staff may have more to do with recruiting than it does with coaching your own kids here, because our players are very resilient, and when there's some coaching turnover, I think they do a great job of welcoming new coaches with open arms and bringing them into how we do things here at Utah State. But where it hurts you is in recruiting and relationships, a different face with a different logo on and in a different school. But when you have continuity over a long time, and we changed up a little bit about how we recruited some kids this year, and we put more faces in the school, put more guys on the phone with them, and spread it out. And I think that made a difference this year. But staff continuity is huge in recruiting.
Let me kind of go back. If you've got maybe 6 to 8 guys, is there in your mind still one position that you still would like to get somebody, or have you filled it with this list of what you feel like your real needs were?
No, I would probably like another D lineman and probably another backer, outside backer, and another D lineman. When I say D lineman, not nose guard, I think we're very strong at nose guard. With G-Mac Schuster, Chris Unga, and Mo Elika. Waske's got a bright. That dude's going to be a player here for a long time. Those 3 guys can play nose, and we don't need another nose. We need some D ends, so maybe another D end or outside backer. But it's going to be, as you look at it, and the guys that are, the mission kids are their own position. But if you're looking for somebody, and then in addition, it would be somebody that we think can come in and make an impact. And that'll probably be at most spots. But those would be the two that I would have an eye on.
Is it hard in basketbal, the kids come back and play. In football, isn't it a little harder physically for the guys to come back from a mission in the summertime and get into it?
Al, that's been I think that's always been I think that's always been people's thought, but it's just been interesting. And we had these discussions with several mission kid recruits' parents, and the kid is, either we've done a better job, or maybe the kids have done better jobs on their mission of staying in better shape, but that has always been the MO is it takes them longer to come back, especially O-line, D-line. Moilika came back, Mo got here in late June. It was 300 and, now I'm in trouble, I'm on the air talking about this, 330-something pounds. Dave Scholes had a month with him before training camp, and we brought him along through August real slowly, and Frank did a good job of just inserting him and playing him, but not crushing him, and built his reps up over the year, over the fall. And there's a defensive lineman coming right off a mission in the middle of the summer and playing right now. Now, if you remember back, he was in that 2014 signing class. He turned down a lot of people to come to Utah State. And he's also probably one of our best recruiters, too, during this winter. But you take a kid, and then Dax Raymond. Dax Raymond came off in May.
That's right.
And was skinny as a rail coming back from the Ukraine. And Coach Scholes had him all summer. And there he is playing right away as a true freshman, game one. And so that it's probably very individual related. Sometimes it depends on where that kid was sent. Did he get sick? How much did he eat? Send those guys down south, and they're going to eat barbecue and gain a little weight, like Mo. So, but it's still, I think, it's kind of individual. We're seeing more and more mission kids come back ready to play. And I think maybe we're doing a better job with them. Coach Scholes is doing a better job getting them ready.
Or they were better.
Or they were better on their mission.
Everybody in high school and they're more physically talented nowadays than they maybe used to be.
Yeah, and you're seeing more high school freshmen come in and are able to compete right away.
Man, I've seen some of the track times. I've reported on track for a long time. It just seems to me that there was more speed in this class than maybe the last couple of classes. Is that a fair assessment?
I think it's a very accurate assessment. When Greg Gensel comes over and looks and sees it and knows, first of all, when I just mention a kid's name and he's like, oh, yeah, I know who Savon Scarver is. Yeah, Las Vegas, he's got real times. And, Zahadri, Jamal Evans is playing on Centennial's basketball team, and that's a really good basketball team, I'm told. They got a kid going from Oregon, I don't know if I'm supposed to report that. He already signed? I don't know. He's a really good basketball player. I may have messed up. It's a secondary violation.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, but he's a starter on that basketball team. A lot of multi-sport guys. I've already mentioned some of the wrestlers, but we got some guys with track times that are really good. Yeah, we're fast. This is fast class. And El Toro, I don't even know if he's got track times, but he's major speed at running back.
How do you feel that things are, it's early, but how are things working out with Coach Yost as the staff and your opportunities to meet with him and direct him with recruiting and just understanding your philosophies? Just how's that working out?
It's been really good. David he's a consummate professional, really. He walked in here like he'd been in here for a long time, and he's kind of like, oh, that's how we do it? Okay, good. And fit in really good with our staff. He had a big hand in helping Luke with Carson Terrell and getting him committed and keeping him committed. Luke did a tremendous job with him for the last year. I thought Coach Yost jumped right in on all the I think he saw all the offensive commits or the guys we were going after, and so he was in a lot of homes with me and with our offensive staff and jumped in and really, that's another guy on our staff that's not the recruiting coordinator, but he's been a recruiting coordinator before. Julius Brown's been a recruiting coordinator before. Luke's got that title right now. I've been a recruiting coordinator before, and sometimes when you have that title and you've had that experience and that responsibility, they just jump right in and they add so much more than I thought when I hired him, because that's not why I hired him. I hired him because of an offensive the scheme and the expertise and his quarterback coaching and all